wrap up the Bout of Books 9.0 Readathon that I did last week. I have 8 books to show you today, and some of the books I didn't read all of them, but I still have 8 books to show you, so let me just get started. I started out on Monday with finishing the Mark of Athena by Riadathon, and this is the 3rd book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I really love this book. This was just the best book in the series so far, I believe. I just needed to know what happened, and I needed to keep on reading, and I did, and that's why I finished it within a day and a half, I believe. I especially love the cover. This is such a beautiful cover. And sometimes I just couldn't help but sit and stare at it, so that's why I decided to finally pick off the cover so that I could focus on reading. But all in all, I really love this book. This was a great start to start off the Bout of Books Readathon. Afterwards, I picked up the 4th book, which is The House of Hades, also by Riadathon. I got halfway through this book and it's really good. But I decided that I needed to read something else because I have been marathoning this series for the past week, so I felt like I needed to read about something else besides Percy Jackson and his friends. I put down this book, but I still managed to read about 200 pages in it, and then I put it down. And instead I started to read this book, Once in a Full Moon by Ellen Schreiber. This is the 1st book in a trilogy about werewolves, and I really like this series. I like reading about werewolves. I haven't done that a lot lately, but I needed to, and finally I found a series that was about werewolves. It is about this main character who meets a boy. The boy is bitten by a wolf and he turns into a werewolf. And then what happens? I'm not going to tell you because you really need to read it for yourselves if you want to read the book. But definitely worth a read. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and as you can see, it's not a very big book. It was about 300 pages, so I managed to finish it within one day. Then I decided to pick up Incarnate by Jodi Meadows, and this is the 1st book in a trilogy as well. This trilogy is not about werewolves at all. This is about a girl who is born with no soul, and that means that she is surrounded by people who have souls that are old. Their souls have been on Earth for thousands of years, but not our main characters. So that creates some problems for her. The thing I like about this book is the world building. I really love the world building and also the characters. And another thing that I just love about this book is its cover. I love it when a book has both a beautiful cover and beautiful content, and this book has it. So definitely worth the read, and 5 out of 5 stars from me. Then I was about halfway through the readathon and I decided to pick up Immortal by Julian Shields, and this is the 1st book as well in the series. I don't know, I just felt like starting a lot of series in this readathon, and I did, so this is another series that I decided to start. And this series is about, well, I didn't know it, but it is about ghosts and demons and all the creepy stuff that can be part of a boarding school. We have this main character who starts on a boarding school. She starts out believing that this is an ordinary boarding school, but guess what? It is not. She quickly realizes that a lot of strange things happen at the school, and I really like the creepy part. This was just creepy, really creepy. But I did have some problems with the boarding school parts because there were a lot of cliches in this book, I believe, and that kind of put it down a little bit for me. But all in all, I enjoyed it and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, I decided to pick up Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry. I had heard such amazing things about this book. People kept telling me that this was an amazing series, and I bought it and I read the 1st book and I really loved this. This was one of my favorite reads of the week. This is a contemporary book about 2 people, a boy and a girl, who meet. They face some problems, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be interesting, but this story is just so sweet and so intriguing. You feel like you need to read on. You cannot put it down. And I love that about books, that you just cannot put them down. So this was the best read of the week. I'm actually going to say it, yes, it was the best read. I gave it, of course, 5 out of 5 stars. Whew, a lot of books. Anyway, afterwards I decided to pick up this series again and read the 2nd book, which is Magic of the Moonlight. This was not as good as the 1st book. I felt like the ending was way too, a lot of things happened that was just too, I don't know, I've actually kind of forgotten it by now because I've read so many books this past week, so I don't know, I've kind of forgotten what I didn't like about this book. I know it's something about the ending. I felt like it was too easy for the characters, the way it ended, and I don't like that. They have to struggle, so struggle it is. But all in all, I like this book. It was an enjoyable read and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And finally, I had reached Sunday night and I still had a couple of hours to read before I had to go to bed. So, what better book to start reading than... Yes, you saw it. The Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I have started this long journey of books. I managed to read 75 pages of this book, even though it takes a long time to get through the pages. They are very compact, but they were just so good. This was the last book that I finished the readathon with. I managed to start it and I'm very happy about that. And this will also be my read for the next several weeks, I believe. So I'm happy about that. So that means during 1 week I read this. No, I read most of this. I didn't read all of the 2 first books. I read half of these, so that means 1 book. And I didn't read all of Game of Thrones, but the rest of the books I did read all of them. And these are quite heavy. I'm very proud of myself. It feels weird to stand with the books because now you can really feel all the pages that I have been through. So this is what I managed to read. Now it's time to reveal my page count of the week. In my last update video, I told you that maybe I would be able to cross the line of 2,000 pages, but I didn't know and I didn't want to push myself too much because I just wanted to enjoy reading. So I enjoyed reading. I read whenever I wanted to during the weekend, and that brought me to a total of 2,075 pages in 1 week. I don't know how I do it. I don't know. It's not about the number for me. I never do this and get these high numbers just to get the number. I do it because I really enjoy reading. When I need to relax, I pick up a book and I can just spend hours reading and just really relax. Some people like to watch television or do other stuff, but I like reading, so that's why I basically read as much as I do. I do have a life, but not on the weekdays. That is normally on the weekends that I get to hang out with friends. So during the weekdays, that is when I read the most, and I guess that's why I'm now at 2,075 pages read in 1 week. I just needed to say the number one more time. And one more time, 2,075 pages. That's it for my wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did the readathon as well, I hope you had success and that you read all of the pages that you wanted to do. Please let me know in the comments down below if you did the readathon as well and if you did a wrap up video, because I would very much like to see how you did as well. Thank you for watching. Happy reading everyone, and bye bye!